Cool.
So that's what I thought was interesting. Mm-hmm. Who would like to go next?
I guess I will.
Thank you, Will.
Yeah. I thought that the little section in the book about steroids was particularly interesting. I'm a huge sports fan, particularly baseball, so I thought that was very interesting to kind of, read about that. And
who is your favorite sports star who's
on steroids?
Well, or who was thought to be on steroids?
It's probably got to be Mark McGwire. I'm a huge Cardinals fan. I'm from St. Louis, so Mark McGwire. He resurrected baseball in 1998. So him and Sammy Sosa resurrected baseball at the home run chase. So
would you put an asterisk next to their home run numbers, though, or not?
I think you have to. But are we talking like specifically Hall of Fame stuff, or
whatever you want to say?
I think that's just an interesting thing that the all-time home run leader in baseball, Barry Bonds, is not in the Hall of Fame. One of the biggest things about baseball, and most of the best players, or not most, but a lot of the best players of all time, like Roger Clemens and Rafael Palmeiro, are not in the Hall of Fame, and Alex Rodriguez will never be, and some of these guys because of steroids. I think that's something that, I don't know, I just think it's very interesting, but also like the side effects of it. Like, it's like, is it really worth it for these, couple of years of fame, the effects that it has on your body? So
we should just let people use steroids.
See that, and that's the thing that people talk about, I guess, a lot.
Because there's already a lot of factors that contribute to your athletic performance. Like, just let people do whatever they want. Let's see how far we can really go.
The only problem I see with that, though, is like when they not when they allowed it, but when they had the cocaine problem with baseball in the 1980s. Specifically, the Cardinals had a problem with that. 3 of their World Series champions were on cocaine.
And the one guy supposedly would head first slide in because he didn't want to break the cocaine vials that he had in his back pocket.
This
is a problem.
It is a problem, and it's baseball's always kind of had a problem with drug abuse. It was greenies at one point. Most players were alcoholics in like the 1920s, and then steroids became a thing.
You're destroying all my heroes while we sit here.
They can still be, they can still be your heroes.
Okay.
I mean, and the Indians had Albert Bell, and he corked bats. So,
well, very good. Any other thoughts? about steroids?
The other thing is, I feel like with just allowing people to kind of do whatever they want, like you do, and specifically in sports, I feel like you do need some kind of limits, because we do have so many ways these days to augment the capacity of the human body, and if you allow people to do that, then in a competitive atmosphere they will, which will mean that everyone will have to just in order to compete. And while it can be an unfair edge that changes and makes you see what somebody could do, I don't think that's a standard that you should hold everybody to be having to do. Because somebody who's not on steroids, I don't think there are very many cases when somebody not on steroids will beat somebody on steroids in very many physical activities.
If I was on steroids.
Right, that was my point.
Didn't they have an issue with that with the Russian doping crisis or whatever?
Yes. And then weren't they bribing the judges too?
Yeah, and even Vladimir Putin was involved in it. But
and they've had every
it ran deep.
Yeah, every sport they seem to have those problems to an extent. Football, and the sad thing about football is at least with baseball, they kind of came out, they got, it was a big problem. They're clean now. Football still has a huge problem where we don't know right now with all that, is kind of put under the rug and whatnot. Football, I don't know. Baseball, they kind of got it all out at once. It looked really bad. But now guys, if they get caught, they're suspended. It's not a problem anymore. With football, you still hear about or guys that will retire and come out. And I know they've even talked about with the problems with CTE, that steroids. It's the concussion problems that football has.
Gotcha.
They've said that steroids has a massive problem with that too. So and you look at some of these guys like Junior Seau, who committed suicide, who had CTE. Could steroids have played a problem or played a part in that?
Steroids make concussions more possible, or what is the relationship there?
I believe that's what it is. Well, because they can all, make it easier to get bigger and get stronger. They also deplete your muscles, also, and your bones, I think, as well, right?
I don't know.
I believe.
I didn't read the chapter.
This is. I mean, the limited knowledge I have.
Don't use this for medical advice.
Right. Yeah. I guess the limits that I understand about steroids and whatnot, and they impact your moods as well. I mean, it's just they have an impact on your brain functioning.
Well, the philosopher Christopher Rock once said that if he could stay in comedy longer by taking some drug, he would, to be at the top of your game.
Mm-hmm. And that's what they would all. That's the problem with if you allow them to is like you were saying, it would be everybody would pretty much be expected to. I mean, it
would create a new standard.
Oh, absolutely. Because I guess the way I look at it is, since Barry Bonds broke the home run record for single season, nobody's done it since, and they have done things to make it easier to hit home runs, and nobody can get there. So. I think
genetic testing, which is what I'm interested in.
Steroids.
What else?